What up? It's your boy T-Bird and Reaction. Today's Feels Friday, or it's Welcome to Saturday. But anyway, about time for the Dead Meat Kill Count. Sorry I had to delay a little bit because I had, last left off. I had a little something. Little man had a little problem, and yeah, let's just say babies being babies. A mess, as I'm gonna say. Anyway, this SmackDown came on. Good episode of SmackDown, by the way. So yeah, we about to get into the Dead Meat Kill Count as well too. I made a little poll because I wasn't sure if I want to do the newest kill count they have right now as well too. So I decided to add that as well as some of the other newer ones they had to see which I wanted to do, which is in the Violent Nation, which is the newest one, Maximum Carnage. Maximum Carnage. Sorry, that's the game. Maximum Overdrive. Children of the Corn, Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, the Nightmare Warriors, and majority want me to just keep it going with the newest kill count, which is in the Violent Nature. So we'll check that out. Good amount of times y'all been very trustworthy with y'all picks as well. So I trust y'all with this one. So anyway, we'll check out In the Violent Nature. It came out literally this past year. Literally not too long. Literally within this year. And as well too. And then we just get into 2025. We still kind of say that this is this year. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to check it out. Let's see what this kill count's hitting for though. Them trailers I saw, the movies I can't wait to hit the Dead Meat. But let's see what this one's all about, because I mean, a lot of the new movies that's been pretty good with kills and like with mixture of both CGI and practical effects. But so this is not that, just probably won't be that far off. And I had to look up a little bit. A lot of people are comparing the killer in this to Jason in a way. So it might be a good look. So anyway, without further ado, let's check out In a Violent Nature. Let's get it. Oh, before I go any further, hold on. First off, before I go any further, you're probably hearing it, and I can't. Prayers go. Let me see. I got this one. Yeah. Prayers go out to the Dead Meat family, because you know there are some of the folks over there are dealing with are stemming from the wildfire disaster. So prayers go out to them. Anybody that made it out and doing better though. So anyway, let's get it. I hate when it does that.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at In a Violent Nature, released in 2024. In a Violent Nature has a classic horror movie setup.
This is about to be a disaster already. Hold on a second. What the hell? Alright, I'm back. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it sounds weird this time. Let's get it. Here we go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at In a Violent Nature, released in 2024. In a Violent Nature has a classic horror movie setup. A bunch of dumb kids at a cabin in the woods get stalked by an undead slasher. He's a big, beefy, Jason-like man-child named Johnny, and he's here to impress you with his kills. But this movie's unique in that it's told almost entirely.
Just from that first one, little preview of that kill, looks like, yeah, I might pick the winner of this one as well too. Wait, why with the way he's walking, it's like we're playing a semi-first person game right now of a killer in a way. It was because I know it's the way he's walking. It's very interesting as well too. Like almost like you played a Friday 13 game.
From the killer's point of view, which turns out
he just I guess I had to wait.
Ain't as interesting as you'd think. I mean, don't get me wrong, the highs are high, but the time it takes to get to each victim, yeesh. In a Violent Nature doesn't edit out all the in-between, and since Johnny ain't taken Manhattan yet, he can't teleport. That means his slow ass just gotta walk, and walk his slow ass does. Writer-director Chris Nash describes it as patient cinema, where the viewer is rewarded for allowing tension to build. That's not for everyone, so this movie might be too slow for a lot of people. I mean, it's basically a hiking simulator with occasional kills. But if you can put your phone away and really engage with it, you'll find an exceptionally well thought out and atmospheric experience. While Johnny is a lumbering mute killer, all of his actions are motivated, almost always through sound. In fact, this movie is a hugely oral ordeal. Oral, not oral, children. It relies a ton.
James names.
On what you hear. The sound design is incredible, from the constant hum of nature to the rustling of dirt displaced with each footstep. You'll want to break out the good headphones for this one.
I'm gonna be honest, it sounds kind of interesting though. It's like an interesting movie, to be honest. I mean, like, if you're very open-minded as well too, it's like an interesting movie, to be honest.
On top of all that, this movie is low-key hilarious. It's not laugh-out-loud funny, this ain't Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but it's still a great deconstruction of older slashers. You know, the ones with crappy characters and bad acting. That's why the dialogue is clunky and the performances are stilted. Not every killer gets to live in an elevated horror movie. Johnny inhabits one that feels like a lesser Friday sequel. But this is the chance to find out what Jason might have been up to cooling off between kills. It's clear that the filmmakers have a love and appreciation for the slasher subgenre. Nowhere is that more apparent than in the kills. When Johnny finally reaches one of his victims, he goes all out. And you know what? I don't want to be glazing a bunch of effects work that you can't see behind blurs, so I'm gonna take the hit and release this episode uncensored. It might get age restricted.
Yay! Yes! Yes! You're the man for this! You're the man for this! I would like to see this uncensored, no lie. I respect this censorship just because of that as well, too. And through that one. Two, is a pain in the ass trying to censor myself to not get in trouble with both them for showcasing their uncensored stuff. That's Patreon and YouTube as well too. Because I say the Hatchet one was a pain in the ass trying to edit. I will tell you, it was a pain trying to edit, but it was working. But it was worth watching the kills. But anyway, yes, let's go.
Restricted and maybe suppressed otherwise. Who fucking knows how YouTube works anymore? But I want everyone to enjoy these exceptional kills, including one that's an all-timer. I can't afford to do this all the time, but I will make an exception here, especially since we do have help from a sponsor.
Yep.
In fact, speaking of which, someone's picked up my everyday earbuds from today's sponsor, Raycon. Excuse me, I have business to attend to. I mean, I understand someone wanting a pair of Raycons for the new year. After all, they're the perfect companion for so many New Year's resolutions. Like hitting the gym, being more productive around the house, or...
Hold on a second, I gotta check something out real quick. I'm bad, let's keep going.
keeping in touch with family. These are mine. Mine! In all their royal blue glory. Although with an assortment of vibrant colors, plus a protective case cover that adds a little custom flair while still letting the case charge wirelessly, who wouldn't feel the call of the cons? Huh. Is brutally murdering this thief taking things too far? No, I need my Raycons. What would I do without their active noise cancellation, ergonomic design, optimized gel tips, and 32 hours of battery life to get me through all these long work days? Yeah, this is the only What? Molly? Did you bring me my Raycons? Aw, that's so sweet. I'm sorry I was gonna murder you. Don't risk a killer's vengeance. Just go to buyraycon.com/deadmeat to get up to 20% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 20% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/deadmeat. If a teen dies in the forest but there's no one around to hear it, did they make the count? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins at the remains of an old fire tower. Some off-screen explorers discuss a local legend.
Well, you guys never heard of the White Pine Slaughter?
As they leave, one of them takes an old locket that's hanging nearby. Big mistake, since there's someone buried there, and he don't take too kindly to thievery. Hold on, he'll be here in a second. Takes him a while to get going in the morning, you know, but he's nothing if not persistent. This undead big boy is Johnny, our slasher POV for the duration. Strap in for some carnage. Actually, you probably don't need to buckle up. This ride is pretty damn slow. Johnny follows the sound of a car horn honking to the home of a hunter named Chuck. He lives next to the parkland and is arguing with a park ranger who doesn't like that he's setting animal traps all over the woods.
So I go back there, I'm not gonna find any more of these.
You go in that fucking barn, you might not find your way out again.
Boy. The ranger leaves right as Johnny finally lumbers over. He heads inside Chuck's house, just missing the hunter on his way out. Johnny pokes around and finds what appears to be his missing locket, triggering a Pamela Voorhees-style flashback of his father gifting it to him.
This was your mother's, John. I want you to have it. You'll always be our little boy, John.
His reminiscing is cut short by a warning shot from Chuck, who quickly regrets it when he sees what he's up against.
What the fuck?
Johnny disarms the guy and chases him into the woods. I mean, like, is this technically chasing? I feel like you have to run for it to be a chase. This seems more like, I don't know, aggressively walking towards. In any case, it's hilarious, especially when we cut to Johnny catching up to the guy. Turns out Chuck's fucked his own leg up in one of his tracks. He really is the #1 motherfucker. And the movie match cuts to a fistful of blood. Oh, thank God they cut out the return trip. Okay, John, what you got there? Your mother's necklace? Not so much, huh? Nope, it's just that motherfucker's, whose body we see when Johnny backtracks to the scene of the crime. Chuck was played by Timothy Paul McCarthy, last seen on The Kill Count and Psycho Goreman. It makes sense. Writer-director Chris Nash worked on special effects in that movie, where he also appeared on screen as a thug. McCarthy previously worked with Nash in his ABCs of Death 2 segment, Z is for Zygote. With his Hunter divorce out of the way, Johnny moves on to the main course, the college kids who took his locket, directing him to their location via sound. In a Violent Nature has a fascinating history, because the movie we're watching is actually a reshoot. The first version was filmed in the fall of 2021 in the Kawartha Lake region of Ontario. There's a feature-length documentary on the Blu-ray that details the attempt. Wow. I realized pretty early on that I didn't need to watch the whole thing for the kill count, but I couldn't look away. I just had to watch the whole thing. I have never seen a more accurate depiction of what it's like to be on a low-budget set.
How are you feeling?
Concern.
They were plagued with problems from all sides, from getting rained out, to equipment malfunctioning, to unwelcome visits from wildlife.
Is that a text dance?
The behind-the-scenes camera captures it all.
I meant to do that.
I was actually surprised by some of the stuff they included, like conversations between disgruntled crew members.
I had 7 people originally planned for this. That's what I said. I said it needs 7 people. I sent an email. 7 people are needed for this.
You would see Plan B, the plate.
No, that didn't work. Yeah. That was a piece of shit.
Seriously, if you want to see people lose faith in a project, look no further.
Let's ask if we are gonna actually finish the movie.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
One of the big issues was that they didn't properly plan for shooting in the wilderness. Their camera rig was way too big. They kept getting snagged and tripped up, looking like they were trying to invade Endor. My favorite part of this footage came from an unruly dog actor who just would not listen to commands. Fenton! Fenton! This dog, named Kinky, just ran around and barked for hours. Oh man, this poor crew.
Wait, Sticky, wait!
If you've ever thought of making an indie film, this is the realest depiction of how it'll probably go. High tensions and everything.
Pierce, shut that fucking thing off right now.
I'm so glad all of it was filmed by Pierce Dirks.
Did you film that whole thing?
Yes, he did. After wrapping production and watching an initial cut, Chris Nash decided to reshoot the entire movie from scratch.
It wasn't a difficult decision to make, because it's such a flippant thing to say, that we're just gonna reshoot the movie. And then I just left it to my producers, just like, figure that out, guys.
He used the editing budget and his personal savings to try again, armed with a lot more experience. They downsized the camera rig and crew, with producers filling in on several positions. Pierce Dirks, who filmed all that behind-the-scenes stuff the first time around, returned as cinematographer. Production moved to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Nash's hometown area that inspired the idea in the first place. That allowed them to call in favors from family and friends. It is so impressive and rare that Nash didn't let his idea die after a failed production. In the end, only a single shot from the first attempt made it into the final film.
Yeah, one shot. The most expensive shot in the entire movie is an over-the-shoulder shot. Looking at another character.
Johnny slowly stalks the kids all the way to their campfire. For the first time, the movie steps away from Johnny's side to get a spinning look at our future victims. Stoner guy Aaron tells his friends our special boy's backstory, starting with his name and deficiencies.
Slow kid named Johnny.
It's told as a campfire tale, a time-honored tradition. I mean, just consider Paul Holt. He says that 70 years ago, Johnny's father owned a shop at a local logging camp. After jacking up his prices, the loggers decided to teach him a lesson by playing a prank on his young son.
They told Johnny they found a bag of toys, and that he should meet them at the old fire tower.
The old fire tower where they found that necklace. That necklace you took. Yeah, you, Troy. You're really fucked up doing that. Johnny climbed to the top of the fire tower, but found neither toys nor Rich Sommer.
Just one of the men in a creepy old firefighter's mask waiting to scare him. And he did.
The prank went wrong and Johnny fell to his death. Yeah, you know how these things go. Real prom night shit. When Johnny's father confronted the loggers, they killed him too, and the logging company covered the whole incident up. Executives came by to check on things a week later, only to find everyone at the camp dead.
Huge fucking lumberjacks torn to pieces.
But of course, this ghost story doesn't have any ghost flashbacks, so the numberless off-screen kills don't go on the count. With the ghost story concluded, the group takes a selfie, not realizing Johnny's photobombing them back there. They retire inside to live out their own little movie, the one we would normally be watching, but not right now.
Yeah, there's always some fucked up backstories like that as well too, lead to this as well too. I mean, sadly, that's what sadly does is push folks who like the villain more than the heroes, but the good guys, whatever. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. What's not playing? Oh, come on.
Sticking with Johnny, and he only gets glimpses of things, like the lover spat between necklace stealer Troy and his girlfriend Final Girl Chris. Things have been tense since Chris cracked a dick joke by the fire.
Yeah, my girl's pretty funny. Isn't she cold?
Yeah, there's some kind of love triangle going on between them and the moody Colt. It's reminiscent of the Friday reboot, with Danielle Panabaker, Jared Padalecki, and that Trent dude who was also in Transformers for some reason. Johnny only sees Chris in a bra though. His movie ain't booby, very much unlike the Friday reboot.
You got perfect nipple placement.
As with any other slasher killer, Johnny finds a bunch of things he can use as weapons. Great! He wanders out back where stoner girl Brody gets her toking interrupted by Aaron leaving.
Wait, are you going to meet up with those gas station girls?
Well, either that or to take a shit. But either way, Brody razzes him alongside Evan, male character number 4.
Fill me up, Aaron! Fill me up, Aaron!
Aaron's listening to music through headphones and playing it loud enough to damage his ears, and the rest of his body, since it draws Johnny towards him. Johnny lumberjacks him up from behind with a draw knife, a tool used for woodworking. He keeps the pressure going until Aaron's lid pops off like Billy Hitchcock, the first beautiful bloody showcase of this movie's great gore. It's a kill that reminds me of Eddie's in Friday 5, another movie that was way more booby than this one.
It's showtime!
Aaron's t-shirt graphic inspires Johnny to take his body to a nearby ranger station. He schleps both pieces of Aaron all the way through the woods for so long the Walkman batteries start to die. It slows the music down in a not entirely realistic way.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny right there.
There's no score in this movie, but we do hear diegetic rock songs sometimes. They were all done by local bands from Sault Ste. Marie in Toronto. Johnny reaches the ranger station. It's closed for the night, but if this is an emergency, use phone or head. Head it is, and it sticks the landing. He finds an opportunity to upgrade his loadout, both in the form of his appearance and weaponry. It's all old logging equipment, like an antique hatchet and some drag hooks, which were used to wrap around big tree trunks. Since he's already made use of Aaron's head, might as well put the body to work too.
Oh, God.
Now he can dress just like the logger who scared him to his death as a boy. Johnny's mask is meant to be a Bajan Bader firefighting helmet, which was used at the turn of the century. It was originally more accurate to the real-life design, but Nash thought it looked like a big, goofy diving helmet. They redesigned it when they shot the movie again, making it smaller and adding goggles. Johnny himself also went through a lot of changes. In the original production, their first Johnny actor was probably allergic to the makeup.
I don't know if it's the makeup remover or the makeup, but every time afterwards, it's like I feel like I got stung by a bee.
He wound up getting severely ill and had to be replaced. And I don't know what happened with the other guys, but they replaced Johnnies faster than Spinal Tap drummers. There were more Johnnies than there were Bobbies on Mad Men. For the second production, they landed on actor Rye Barrett, who based his performance on iconic slashers. Specifically, Nick Castle's Michael Myers and Kane Hodder's Jason. He made sure Johnny was always moving with a purpose. Armed with his new gear, Johnny plods his way into morning. He finds a couple more campers on a dock across the lake, so he plants his hatchet in a stump and starts to wade on over to him. Man, as soon as I saw him do this, I knew we'd have to watch him come back and retrieve it eventually.
It's not him. It's a Michael Myers that passed away recently. I forgot which one, but yeah.
You leave something somewhere, you gotta go get it later, even when it's really far away. Stoner chick Brody is trying to get wet and wild with Aurora, the group's stereotypically scoldy social issues type.
Cancel culture doesn't exist, you fucking ableist.
She's not interested in Brody. She would just prefer a more direct approach.
If you want to make a move, make a move. Just don't waste my time with this high school bullshit.
She leaves, but tells Brody to meet her in a few to stretch her out, through yoga and possibly other means. Brody bobs for a while until the unseen Johnny gives her the Jaws treatment. I love how long the shot holds afterward. Is that actress really down there the whole time? She gets one final breath in as the shot cuts. But that's it. Soon afterward, she floats up face down. Damn, Johnny. Jason at least let people get to the sex before he killed them. Brodys Death was simplified a lot from the initial idea. In the first production, they wanted to have a shot that followed Johnny underwater as he walked across the lake floor. When that didn't pan out, for obvious reasons, Nash tried to change it to a shot where the camera skimmed across the lake.
Right now, what we're trying to accomplish is everything up to the underwater sequence.
That didn't work either. The makeshift boat they had wouldn't even stay afloat, but it was probably for the better.
Thinking back at it, like that original conception of like how we were going to shoot that scene was just so like creatively masturbatory from like a directing standpoint of like, what are you doing? You might as well just be pointing the camera at yourself.
I love how real Nash is about where he messed up and what his movie is. He admits the first production failed because of hubris and his own underestimation of what filming in the woods would be like. He also rejects the idea that this movie reinvents the slasher, saying they did the same thing, just moved the camera to a different spot. Besides the obvious Friday the 13th influence, Nash cites Terrence Malick movies and Gus Van Sant's Death trilogy as inspiration for the slow, deliberate pace. No Country for Old Men was another comparison. Some of Johnny's personality was even based on Anton Chigurh. For the cinematography, D.P. Dirk said he was inspired by Neon Genesis Evangelion, particularly the 1:3:3 aspect ratio instead of the usual 16:9 widescreen. Johnny decides to keep Brody's date with Aurora and walks there hooks in hand. He's been walking around with those chains looking like Friday 7 Jason, and he's about to make more use of them than J-Man ever did. Aurora hears him coming when he steps on a stick.
I was wondering when you were finally gonna show. You sure took your time, though.
He sure did. Her scenic spot for stretching becomes a dead end against this slasher. It almost seems like she just accepts her fate as Johnny sticks a granule straight through her back. Oh, fuck. She turns around to face him, and he proceeds to pull it out through her front. Holy shit. Woo! In the head with her shit, and then spin her around and pull her head down. Dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god! Yo! That better get to go to the chainsaw. That better get to go to the chainsaw right there. Oh my god! Oh my god!
And then spin her around and pull her head down through her
Jesus
stomach
Christ!
out the other side. Holy fucking shit! Dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Johnny Slasher. This kill.
Really? Really, James? You know we get that from Johnny Wrestler because of John Gargano. God damn it, James. But yo, oh yeah, that better get going to German Chainsaw. That better get a German Chainsaw rating. Jesus Christ.
Is worth the price of admission alone, and was foreshadowed earlier.
Why don't you come find me when you're done your swim, and maybe you can stretch me out a little more?
John
you got that right.
Down the hill, but it isn't even given the dignity of going all the way down. The filmmakers planned for it to, but they thought it was funnier that it stopped halfway. I agree. The yoga kill was accomplished with several bodies that had detachable limbs, all rigged to do different things. The effect was headed by Steven Kostansky, the incredible makeup artist and filmmaker who made PG Psycho Goreman. Love to see friends helping each other out. The kill was filmed in pieces months apart, some in early May and more of it in August. They even did pickups in December back home. The shot of the vertebrae popping out was filmed in a producer's mom's backyard. Just as I predicted, Johnny has to walk all the way back to retrieve his axe. It takes him a solid few minutes, but he finally does it. Okay, on to the next kill. These shots really show you the time and effort it takes a slasher like Johnny to execute each kill. Pretty sad then when some jackass in a yellow V-neck comes along and speeds through each kill making body oil jokes. The disrespect. By this point, the remaining
Young James had a lot to learn, and he learned pretty well. Now he's top notch with this.
Campers have started to realize something's wrong.
Something's not right, Troy, and you know it.
Douchebag Troy doesn't want to cut their trip short, so he chucks the car keys into the trees. They land by Johnny's feet, and he finds a little toy car on the keychain. And if there's literally one thing we know about Johnny, it's that he loves to play with toys. And also, dude gets his steps in. He sits down to play with it, giving us our one and only look at John's fucked up zombie face. Blind eyes, sharp teeth, slashes on his head. Oh man, this guy's been through a lot. In retrospect, Nash thinks this scene played out a bit too emotionally. He wanted Johnny to be acting on instinct, with as little humanity as possible. The toy car was only meant to be a trigger, a sort of memory of a memory. It was never meant to humanize him, but it definitely did, since now Chelsea wants to adopt him.
Johnny is so sweet, and this poor baby.
Colt comes over to look for the keys and is alarmed to find Johnny's axe. His search is cut short by an off-screen outburst from Troy.
I'm sorry Colt's dead dad fucked him up. But he doesn't get to kill my whole fucking weekend too.
What the fuck did you just say?
Talk of a dead dad switches Johnny back to murder mode. That poor toy car never had a chance. I love the snippets we get of the unseen other movie going on, the one focused on the campers. At some point, there was a scene where they noticed Johnny in the background of their selfie, but we don't see it. We only hear it referenced now.
What about the guy in the photo?
What fucking guy? It was just a shitty photo. Dirt on the fucking lens or something.
No, it wasn't dirt, and you know it.
Chris gets pissed at her boyfriend and leaves on an ATV with Colt for the ranger station. Troy goes back inside, and Johnny proves he isn't quite the slow boy they made him out to be by cleverly sticking a branch against a car horn. Usually only the survivors get to use noise distractions. This shit is imba! They better nerf Johnny in the next patch. He goes around the cabin and retrieves his axe while Troy's distracted by that damn honking. Johnny gets the jump on him, and though Troy fights back, he still winds up with an axe in his leg. Johnny's attack is stopped by the sound of a gunshot, courtesy of that Evan dude. You could see him notice Johnny through the window as he circled the cabin. Evan puts another shot into Johnny's chest, which takes him down.
Did you get him? Yeah, I got him.
Yeah, but you should probably make
Double
extra
tap.
sure. We all know what kind of movie this is.
Yeah, double tap,
Instead,
dude.
the guys try to hoof it out of there with an injured leg. And no sooner do they leave the frame than Johnny starts moving again. He's up in no time and takes aim with his hatchet, which he throws off.
I'm gonna be honest, I was low-key was hoping he'd do the Undertaker get up. Just keep up. Doom. I low-key was hoping he'd do the Undertaker kip up, no lie.
Off screen. At first, we don't know if it landed or not, but a great drone shot follows
Damn.
Johnny to the downed Evan, who's been killed by the axe going into the back of his head.
Damn.
That leaves the injured Troy.
Oh my god! No! Oh!
And now his head is burst like a balloon.
Woo!
It's absolute cinematic
Yo!
that the shot goes from Troy.
Yo, all right, y'all picked the winner. Y'all picked the winner with this one. Jesus Christ. I knew y'all been, like I said, y'all do good with y'all do good with the picks sometimes, and y'all been trustworthy, and y'all were very trustworthy with this one. Jesus.
Troy shouting to his head blowing up with no visible cut in between. Beautiful work. The attempt they did in the first production wasn't quite as seamless. Earlier by the campfire, Johnny saw Troy pocket his locket, but he finds that pocket locketless now. Womp womp. That's because it's around the neck of Chris, who's just returned after finding Aaron's body. Johnny nearly gets her with another axe, but she narrowly escapes with Colt on an ATV. While the film loves basking in the beauty of its setting, shooting in the wilderness was anything but peaceful. The heat from the crew's body and camera equipment ended up attracting clouds of mosquitoes and black flies. They shot with nets over their heads.
That's
and
why
still
they had
wound
nets
up
on
with
his head.
hundreds of bug bites.
Damn.
Johnny's actor Barrett had it especially bad, since bugs would get inside the mask to gnaw on his face.
No.
It was like a restaurant that they could go in and just eat our main actor.
As a tribute to their tiny tormentors, the movie's end credits are set to the Black Fly song, written by Canadian folk singer Wade Hemsworth and performed by Tracy Newman in 1965. Johnny spends his remaining daylight hours trudging back to the station. By the time he gets there, the kids have already met with the ranger. He's none too pleased about their accidental grave robbing.
You don't know what you just did, okay? That's his mother's necklace. It's the only thing holding his soul at rest.
Johnny finally enters their field of vision, and turns out this is a reunion. That me-looking ranger was the last person to bury Johnny at the fire tower. See, his father was the sole survivor of the original White Pine slaughter, the one mentioned by Aaron at the campfire. The ranger himself survived another massacre 10 years ago.
I remember what you did 10 years ago.
We've gotten hints about that incident throughout the movie.
You guys want to hear about the park rangers that died here 10 years ago?
I think we're good for tonight.
So wait, does that make what we're watching a part 3? Then why the hell isn't it in 3D? Whoa! The Tommy Jarvis-esque ranger floors Johnny with a shotgun blast and tells Colt to grab some chains to tie him up. Chris just wants to give the locket back, but that's not an option anymore. The only way to keep him down now is to bury him back in the ground he died at by the fire tower. Unfortunately, Colt's a bit of a coward, so Johnny's able to disarm them and fuck up their ATV. The ranger gives the kids a chance to escape, but isn't so lucky himself, getting a chiropractic session that leaves him paralyzed. We sit with him and watch his terrified eyes, the only part of him that can move, as Johnny leaves to power something up off screen. He then hooks the ranger and drags him over to a shed where we see that he turned on a log splitter. Don't know what that is? Don't worry, Johnny's got you covered. With the demonstration complete, Johnny proceeds to use the machine to chop off the Ranger's hand. I feel like he originally planned to do this whole kill piecemeal, you know, limb by limb. But after seeing how long it took for just one hand, even Johnny's patience is worn out. The horrifying 3-minute unbroken one take culminates with Johnny putting the Ranger's neck within the splitting lane.
Damn it!
The poor guy with a log-splitting headache. This whole scene is so slow and methodical, with the machine's constant hum in the background. It's really unsettling. The Ranger was played by Reese Presley, whose kill in Psycho Goreman earned a Prime Rib nomination for Best Kill. Dude's just good at dying, I guess. With the Ranger danger neutralized, Johnny plods back after his locket. Chris and Colt try to sneak around with a plan to take him down, but they can't whisper quietly enough for it to work.
I've got to distract him.
Dumbass.
You go to the fire tower and set up the trap. I'll lead him there. It's the only way to stop him. I'll be back. I promise.
After a lot of standing and staring, Colt enacts step 1, the distraction.
Come on, you ugly son of a bitch! We're right!
As the plan's canceled, since Johnny traps Colt.
Go back. It's like, bitch. Oh, go back. Hold up. That shit was not, I wasn't ready for that. Ah, that was funny as hell. Oh, shit. Go back. Oh.
Try to sneak around with a plan to take him down, but they can't whisper quietly enough for it to work.
He said, come on, you
go to the fire tower and set up the trap.
Bitch, you think I'm Jason? Bitch,
I'll lead him there. It's the only way to stop him. I'll be back. I promise.
After a lot of standing and staring, Colt enacts step 1, the distraction.
Come on, you ugly son of a bitch! We're right!
Bitch, what the...
Oh, shit!
Bitch, what
Plan's
the
canceled, since Johnny...
Bitch, what the fuck you think this is, huh? Say Jason. I ain't Jason, motherfucker. What's wrong with you? That shit was funny. He just turned like, bitch. You the fuck you think I am?
He chops it down to size and then some.
Christ.
And then some more. In fact, Johnny thwacks this guy at least 90 times by my count.
Really?
Damn, dude. Johnny, please. This guy is the deadest anyone has ever been outside of a Terrifier flick. The overkilling is witnessed by a shell-shocked Chris, who decides she is not the final girl for this job. She abandons her booby trap materials and tools to escape the map, and leaves the locket behind with them. The movie switches to her perspective as she flees into the forest, getting confused by the endless trees and the occasional sound of more thwack attacks. A jump cut takes Chris to Dawn, where a branch has seemingly impaled her leg. She manages to limp her way out to the main road, where she waves down a truck for help. It's driven by Lauren Marie Taylor, who played Vicky in Friday the 13th Part 2 43 years ago. She starts to drive Chris to a hospital, but she's too traumatized to say what actually happened to her.
Was an animal.
In response, the driver launches into an extended monologue describing her brother's near-death encounter with a bear.
Looked like something out of a horror movie or something.
It's a real long spiel, and a lot of people didn't like sitting through it after 80 minutes of Walking Simulator. But it's meant to show what life is like for the final girl after the credits roll. How awkward was that truck ride for Sally after they were further on down the road? The bear attack story itself could be a cover-up for another one of Johnny's killing sprees, but it could also just be a metaphor for Johnny himself, a wild animal who kills on instinct. The driver notices Chris is bleeding heavily, so she pulls over to tend to her wounds. But Chris doesn't want to stop for nothing.
Just take me to like a hospital, please. Please.
She spends the whole time watching and waiting for Johnny to come out of the woods. And you almost expect him to, but nothing happens. It's almost worse that way. For the final girl, life will never be the same. We get a short montage revisiting all this violent nature. The movie ends showing that Johnny's locket has disappeared. Maybe he took it and went back to his dirt bed. How many poor people did our plotting protagonists plow through? Let's find out and get to the numbers.
That's pretty dope. R.I.P. 6 Cage. Oh, the green screen. That's pretty funny. I like it. Ow.
8 people died in a violent nature, and in a violent nature. Oh, that's weird to say. The victims consisted of 6 men and 2 women, giving us a 3-to-1 ratio of dude victims. We've seen this count break down 3 times before, including in 2 kill counts last year, Exorcist 3 and The Hills Have Eyes. With a runtime of 94 minutes, In a Violent Nature had a kill on average every 11.75 minutes. I'll give the golden shout out for coolest kill to Aurora.
It better be.
It
better be.
Sure, obviously. Come on. There's a lot of gory goodness in this movie, but when you watch horror movies for a living, it is truly special to see a kill you have never seen before. Almost said if your lamest kill, we'll go to Chuck, who went out with an off-screen whimper. And that's it. In a Violent Nature came out in 2024 and already has a sequel in development. I hope Nash wasn't joking when he said it could be Johnny in the Suburbs. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
At the turn of the century, London succumbed to the rage virus due to some monkey business. 28 days later, the place was a mess. But we've already talked about that. Now it's 28 weeks later, and the rage virus is gone. Those who suffered from it all starved to death. The place is clean. We promise.
It's very hard for you to imagine, you know?
All that's left is clearing out the remaining bastard skellies. British refugees are returning home to rebuild.
Here we go again.
Assisting them in their efforts is the American military, so you know nothing's going to go wrong.
We've lost control.
Oh, well, I'm sure we can find a measured way to fix things. Ah, shit. 28 weeks later ditches the first film's eerie isolation and instead gives us big-budget zombie chaos.
Oh man, this is FUBAR.
It's got bigger guns, bigger blood, and a way bigger body count. Seriously, this is... How the fuck are we supposed to count this? Oh my god. What? Wait, slow the camera down. Damn, man. Got me pining for The Purge. This week, mark your calendars for 28 weeks later.
That's what we need.
Then hunker down with some friends.
How many?
Loads.
Watch the Kill Count. Only on Dead Meat.
Next Friday.
This is madness.
28 weeks later can currently be watched on a picture stream
next Friday. Nice
platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count on In a Violent Nature. Welcome back to Kill Counts in 2025. I mean, we had Zoran's video game Kill Count already, but that I'm really considering like a sister series to the movie Kill Counts. That's why the thumbnails are green and why the rules are entirely fucking different. If you didn't check it out though, make sure you do. Zoran and a lot of other Dead Meat teammates poured so much work into it. It's really a work of passion. And it shows. Just as a reminder, Zoran video game kill counts will be the first Friday of every month, and you will get a movie kill count from me twice a month. Can't do the every week thing this year. Just can't do it. Gotta do other stuff instead. I want to thank some patrons like.
I like that he's kind of covered up. You know, he's kind of covered up in a way. All that he really is. That really is the situation, though. But still, either way. Again, Perezza, hopefully everything they're back to where they are now with student from the wildfire now as well too. And I am looking forward to Zoran's next video game kill count. But other than that though, this was a good kill. This was a good kill count for sure. Yeah, picked a good one. Other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Person signing off. One love.